Hello, you're listening to the Robot Wars History Podcast, a podcast where we chart the development of the show and the British robot combat scene in general by looking at key teams and bots. I'm your host Luke, and with me as always are my co-hosts Dan.
Hello.
And Nick. And today we'll be talking about Rex Garrod.
Team Cassius, which was mostly just Rex Garrod and anybody else who he decided to bring with him on the day, had a short career, shall we say, about the same length as Roadblock, but definitely one of the early greats.
The brightest candle burns fastest. Rex Garrod is honestly, he is. Every time he entered Robot Wars, he just brought his A game, and he completely changed things up all the time, just constantly breaking new ground.
Yeah, it was the first robot to use a flipping weapon, and also the first robot to flip another robot using an active weapon, and that victim was Matilda. So it's one of the many roboteers that decided to take pot shots at the house robots, which I think we can always appreciate.
Rex Garrod, he also built Brum, which is great because that show was honestly my shit when I was 5.
Oh god, Brum was so good.
Oh, what a fantastic show! I had all the videos and everything. Brum on repeat. What a show!
Yeah.
So Rex Garrod first competed in the first series with the Cyclops, and with the Cyclops already, you can see this man is he's thinking ahead of most people.
Yeah.
It's got a pneumatic steel wedge tongue flipper that fired out, and there was a front hinge flipper on the end of the tongue, and it was made entirely of recycled materials.
Yes, which is where it got its name.
It had its gauntlet run was quick. It immediately buzzed through, basically. And in the post-fight interview, Rex Garrod said he wanted to overturn one of the house robots, which proceeded to do in British Bulldog.
Yep, took out Matilda.
It got stuck halfway through and it lost its drive chain, immobilizing it. But thankfully, it was in the same trial as a detonator.
And predictably, David Crosby's machine died a very embarrassing death.
Yeah, and it died without even dying. It just wasn't alive in the first place.
Yeah, it had a battery failure.
But yeah, the Cyclops flips Matilda and becomes the first robot to not only flip over another bot, but to take out a house robot.
Yeah.
One of the many records Cassius
was going in there and annoying them with his axe, and then not Cassius yet. Recyclops goes in and just fucking ruins Matilda in a single flip. So
Recyclops, for being a general fighter, it isn't very practical, but its flipper was actually really powerful. I mean, its front hinge, yet it completely threw Matilda over. It didn't just push her over onto her side. It completely made her flip in the air. It was pretty impressive, really.
Clearly, the Firestorm team should have taken inspiration from this rather than from Cassius when they made their first robot.
Yeah, that sees us through to the Cyclops' first match against Scrapper, which is just
Scrapper,
one of those classic Series 1 bots.
Oh,
Scrapper was so shit. It's just
it looks like a fucked up train with little saws on the front.
Yeah, it says a lot about Scrapper that Recyclops didn't even flip it. It had that high ground clearance that Recyclops bumped into it and it fell over.
Yeah.
The only thing you can even say about this fight is just JP going "Oh, don't go broadside on," and that's literally it. That is it.
Oh god, yes.
Yeah, that saw the Cyclops through to Mortis. We've covered this fight before in the Mortis episode.
Yeah,
and,
but basically Mortis was robbed.
Mortis lost not because of anything the Cyclops did, but because of Mortis just getting stuck on spikes, basically.
Yeah.
The floor dildos ruin everything.
One thing to say about this fight is I think the Cyclops I can't imagine how much of a pain with Cyclops must have been to film, because that goddamn light from coming out its eyes just completely blinds the camera so often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That was its most effective weapon in some cases. It just
This is
blinds the other roboteers.
and the
This
fact
is-
that this is a family show, and they kept in the Rex saying, "I've got to put the tongue in the right place" line, like, oh,
Oh god.
my man.
Just something to keep the parents watching while the kids don't notice it, I guess.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
Indeed. Well, they made it then into the grand final, which was basically just Roadblock slapping everybody else's shit.
Yeah, they kind of try like bumping into Tracy and I think Robot the Boost for a bit, and then Roadblock gets under him, carries them for like half the match, and then when they get off, the drive chains just come off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the chain off Recyclops, as Jonathan said, and that was the end.
Good God, Jonathan Pierce being observant. That's
Yeah, makes a change.
I mean, we've managed to go through Recyclops very quickly here, but I mean, for Series 1, god damn, this is it's a very interesting bot for Series 1. Like, already Rex has basically invented the British pneumatic flipper.
yeah. That's one thing. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot to talk about with Recyclops, especially because we covered all the controversy surrounding its fight with Mortis only a couple of weeks ago. But it is really quite it's an interesting robot. Like it's very unique looking. Like, I mean, I suppose you could say that that's the sort of mental thing you might expect to get out of a British robot combat thing. But no, I think it's a really unique and interesting design. Even if it's not the most efficient, I like Recyclops.
Yeah. There's nothing really to hate about it. It's just, I mean, in Series 1 especially, when you've got quite a few rather interesting looking robots, shall we say. Like, Recyclops just does look the part, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And yeah, as we say, its weapon's quite powerful. Certainly not the most efficient fighter, but it was, even though it was lucky against Mortis, it was certainly deserving to be in the final 6 robots in Series 1.
Yeah. It's the only robot that has lost in its grand final because it broke down.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like in the modern series, you've got plenty of robots that were just straight up KO'd. Well, you mean like Eruption was KO'd. But then Cassius went down the pit, as we'll discuss later on. Robot the Bruce and Hypnodisc were overturned. Tracy,
Kilotron.
Yeah,
Kilotron.
Tracy and Cunning Plan got stuck, and then basically all of the others were judges' decisions.
Kilotron, though, you forgot that. Unless you mean like just grand final.
Yeah,
fights.
yeah, grand final fight.
Oh right, I thought you meant like in the grand finals as a whole.
No, well, no. Kilotron only ever made the grand final in spirit. The producers were convinced that they made it in Series 1, and they weren't going to disagree.
So yeah, obviously Rex could see from the beginning that like a flipper is a really effective weapon, and yeah, this leads to his Series 2 entry, arguably one of the most important like British robots ever built, Cassius.
Oh god, yes. Perhaps a little overrated in some cases, but definitely a really good robot.
When you read like just what a Vex Garrod book contains, it's like, oh my god. Like, Cassius had a front hinged flipper. It ran at 25 miles an hour by overloading its 12-volt motors. It had pneumatic suspension and it had a gyroscope in to improve control. Like, this guy's always like a series ahead, it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit overcomplicated, but it's just him putting everything into a robot he can and see if it works. And
I mean, overcomplicated is something like Rapid. I think Cassius was complicated, but not overly so.
No, and especially in the early series where it's like you can test anything, you don't know if it's gonna work, pretty much.
Yeah.
God, Cassius. It breezed right past its gauntlet.
Again.
It had a pretty easy run of its trial soccer.
I mean, yeah, one thing you can say about the soccer is that Cassius's ground clearance is so high at times that it beached itself on the ball at one point. So, I think while we're at it, we've got to give a shout out to Groundhog for the most pointless attachment in soccer ever. It just had, like, sellotape around it. Like, oh my god, Graham Bone, what is happening there?
Oh, man.
Yeah, how is it possible that the people behind Groundhog ended up making probably the most successful robot to never win a title?
Yeah, and especially when you consider how precise Firestorm 5 was with the metal strip, trying to get every single bit of ground clearance in his advantage, and then you've just got Groundhog with, with an absolute avalanche of a ground clearance.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, Cassius's first fight was against Wizard, which
wow.
Wow, yeah.
Such an amazing fight.
This was probably. I mean, can you say this is? I don't know. The Wizard. What is it? It's meant to be funny. It's meant to be comic relief, but it doesn't do anything. It got bullied by Invertebrat. Like, who gets bullied by Invertebrat? Even not Tunter, and the creature survived against Invertebrat. Like, oh god! and it just gets bumped into by Cassius and breaks, and that's it. That is literally it.
Yeah, Cassius kind of just pushes it into the CPZ and leaves it for dead. Except it does it. No, wait, what am I on about? They don't leave it for dead. They do that to, like, draw in all the house spots and then just starts attacking them. And, like, I knew that Rex Garrod had a reputation for attacking the house robots, but until I rewatched all these for this, I didn't realise every single fight, basically, Cassius attacks the house robots.
I've literally got in my notes for the Wizard fight. This is literally every fight that Rex has ever had. It just is. He tries to flip Bash, kill a lot. I mean, Bash probably breaks down because it's Bash, but yeah. Yeah. Your trademark Cassius fun, but again, especially in Series 1 or 2, you needed that bit of rivalry with the house robots to be like, yeah, there's some competitors who can stand up for the wimps like Wizard.
And then it went up against Loco.
And this was basically the Scrapper Part 2, where it just gets rolled over as opposed to being flipped.
Yeah, you get another feel for, like, Rex's personality, because before the Wizard fight, like, he's saying that if he's up against any team with kids on, he won't destroy their bot, he'll defend them from the house robots, and that's exactly what he does here, and he once again flips Matilda.
Yeah, I can't believe Matilda, Shunt, and Sergeant Bash, and was it Dead Metal as well, all got bullied by Cassius. Like, all four of them at the same time were just getting completely owned by it, until Bash finally did something useful and pitted Cassius, but that's its only moment of glory ever, I think.
Yeah. Not a fantastic fight for the competitors, but the house robots got their licks in and got attacked quite badly as a result of it.
It's incredible that, like, even, like, as early as Series 2 can just effortlessly bully the house spots that aren't kill a lot. Like, that extra 20 kilograms of weight just doesn't mean a thing.
No, it does not. It's not as bad as later series where Shunt's so close to the weight of the competitors that they can easily dispatch him. But I mean, even in like series 2, when Razor does its gauntlet run, I think it's Shunt that tries to stop it, and
Yeah.
Razor just grabs onto Shunt's plow and just pushes it all the way into the end zone. It's just like, isn't this the one that's supposed to be good at pushing? They really should have just used shove in some of those cases, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Cassius moved on to the semi-finals, and in its gauntlet immediately gets blocked by the house spots, just doesn't get anywhere. I guess it's just kind of recompense, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gauntlet in the semi-finals was a bit of a mess. There was far too much in the arena. Like they just had a sphere held in place next to the pit.
They literally just chucked in everything. I'm surprised they didn't have like the kind of door kind of things from pinball just there for no reason.
And yeah, both Cassius and Roadblock nearly got in a bit of trouble to nearly be eliminated here. Really, they both went first, didn't they? The first two, I think, and they both weren't exactly clean with their runs. They were just blocked by the Sentinel, and then the House Robots, the Sphere, the bricks, everything for Cassius.
Yeah, but it did enough to beat Hardvark and Plunderbird too.
Yeah, fortunately, Plunderbird Robot was in this episode, so they weren't going out here. Good God, Plunderbird 2, what a heat.
I think that is up there for one of the single worst heats ever. The Mule Plunderbird is the heat final, and we see about 50 seconds of action. And it's just like, one Plunderbird drive, and then they're like, cease, judge's decision. It's like, what?
It's not as bad as the Buddy Napalm one, where Napalm loses the fight and goes through. Like, Napalm spends that entire battle getting bullied, and then it just, for some reason, goes through.
Yep.
Yeah, and that says quite a lot in itself, though, that Napalm's heat final is probably one of the better Series 2 battles.
Wow, yeah, Series 2 was terrible.
Terribly brilliant. Let's leave it at that, maybe.
You're only saying that because Wheelosaurus made its debut.
Oh, Peter
so
Gibson. Sorry.
Cassius went through to the pinball, and here we really see that ground clearance could be an issue.
Yeah, Cassius didn't have a terrible ground clearance, but it wheelied all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's the thing. When it got driving, it would rear up like monstrously high.
Yeah, it's far be it from something like, say, like a later robot that had an upturned back end, like Danton Kia, that had like that little
tail.
Yeah, the little tail bit that they could put down on the ground to make sure it didn't bounce up too much. But yeah, that was its really big problem. But it was also the thing that made it legendary because Killer Lot overturned it, and then during the pinball trial, and then Cassius became the first robot in the history of the show to successfully flip itself back onto its wheels.
The producers.
We got nine
moment is
like in the process as well. So that was
yeah. This is like probably this is like the most hyped moment in the show up until like. This is the most hyped moment in the show from the first run of Robot Wars up until about Series 3 sometime, because the producers just love showing this off.
Can't blame them, really.
Yeah, it was the most hyped moment until the first Uta between Chaos 2 and Firestorm. And then after that they had a few more things worth showing to advertise. But yeah.
The producers love this so much that in the Roadblock battle later, they just get Kill-A-Lot to, they get Kill-A-Lot to blatantly just upend Cassius, and so they do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JP sounds like a fucking sounds like a kid in a candy shop when it happens. He's so happy.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing you can say in this mightily impressive and revolutionary moment of Cassius self-writing. 2 seconds later, it loses a drive chain. It's still the most Cassius thing you could ever have happen.
Yeah.
Just gets beached on the bricks, loses a drive chain, that's the end of it.
Yeah. But then they went up against Hardvark because I mean at this point they were now the series favourites because Mortis had suicided in the other semi-final, and yeah.
This yeah, I mean this I mean here they flip Hardvark on its side and then flip it back, but then the match turns against them because their like chain comes off in the PPZ.
Yeah.
But I think the producers are like, no, we're not having fucking Cassius go out now and let Hardvark through. So Hardvark gets upended and left on the flame pit to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't this have been typical though? Because this was by far Cassius's most competent performance. It flipped Hardvark like 3 times, I think, and was just playing about with it, and then it still nearly lost.
Yeah.
So that would have been something catastrophic. Imagine Hardvark in the grand final. Interesting.
And this is where Cassius tries to flip Kill-a-Lot and doesn't succeed. It'll happen one day, damn it.
One day something will.
Maybe Apollo manages it.
Yeah.
This series.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe an actually upgraded Apollo will be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cassius goes through to the grand final and comes up against Roadblock, and that ground clearance. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ground clearance does not help it here.
No, not at all.
Roadblock completely outwedges them, just slides right under, and pushes them all round. But Cassius is fortunate because Roadblock somehow, we don't see it because we're too busy watching Cassius self-right,
again
gets stuck in the PPZ, and then Cassius just runs in and just flips it onto the side. Like, Rex ain't being no sportsman here.
No, that was he saw an opportunity and took it, and yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, that's taking advantage of something like that. I mean, that was a fair play.
Yeah, I mean,
it was fortunate that it happened because Roadblock was well on top, as we say. But yeah, the flip itself was well taken. Yep,
and that put them through to the grand final against Panic Attack, which we talked about just a couple of weeks ago.
We've covered like half of these fights before.
Yeah. We haven't covered any of the upcoming ones in Series 3 though.
The only reason we haven't covered them is because we're not going to do a Dundee episode.
Yeah.
Oh, why not? Loco and Dundee, come on, comprehensive history there.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like we said in the Panic Attack episode, Cassius spends most of the fight trying to figure out just how to go about attacking Panic Attack, basically.
Yeah. Obviously, as we said last time, we don't agree with the often suggested theory that Rex threw this fight. Just more that he took a while to get into the game, and by that point he managed to drive himself into the pit.
He didn't drive himself into the pit. He opened himself up.
Yeah, he drove himself into a position where he could easily be shunted in.
It was more one of those where he probably just wanted to draw the fight out, make sure it wasn't a really short fight, and warm up, as we say. But it's still rather fitting that, not being funny, as we say, his driving wasn't the best, and then Kim comes in and does his job.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's like Rex was trying to warm up and make it a good long fight, and Kim was having none of that. Nope.
I think
the only time ever that Kim Davis has been like really cynical in Robot Wars. If that was any other robot, he would have like taken it around for 4 minutes and played with it, tried to get an OOTA, put it on the flame pit.
Yeah.
Put it on top. See if you can put it on top of Kill-a-Lot somehow.
Yeah. Just get it upside down on top of Panic Attack and drive towards Kill-a-Lot and see if the self-writer is enough to get it on top of Kill-a-Lot.
But no, yeah, I think this is just I think it's just a case of like also Rex missing his opportunities because he gets under Panic Attack twice, but one of the times he like Panic Attack just kind of flies right over him, but I think I think that's more a case of like him realizing the opportunity as like a second too late.
Yeah.
He also like dives in. He also drives right into Panic Attack. Panic Attack goes over, gets under dead metal, and then tries lifting him. Like, Rex, come on, save it for after the fight. After the grand final, he had a good match with Mortis, and there's nothing much to say here other than Rex dives into the pit.
Rex manages to get Mortis beached on the side of the pit with a broken track, and then drives into the pit. Shunt promptly proceeds to push Mortis down because fuck Mortis, but Cassius then actually self-rights at the bottom of the pit and pushes Mortis back onto the arena floor.
Honestly, this man is too pure. He is too pure for Robot Wars. He's too pure for this Earth.
And as you said before, I've got to give props to the Mortis team for not being entirely happy with taking the victory in a match that they were immobilized and then Cassius killed itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a typical fight between these two. It really did sum both of them up. Neither could drive. Mortis lost a track. Rex drove down the pit. What more could you ask? But it was great that Cassius and Mortis faced each other, because obviously they didn't get the chance to in Series 2 itself. So
yeah, it's just a shame that they never fought again.
One thing I do want to note, right? Cassius, as we've already said, probably like one of the most revolutionary bots in British Robot Combat ever, got nominated for 2 awards: Best Design, Best Engineered, and it lost Best Design to Razor, which I guess I can see. But it lost Best Engineered to the Mule. The fucking Mule.
Oh god, that is some heavy bullshit. That's up there with Derek winning that award in Series 5.
I try not to question the Best Engineering Awards, just because there's been so many times where it's like, wait, what? Because we had the Mule win it, we had the Steel Avenger win it in Series 4, was it? And then Derek, as we say. So I trust them to make the right call there, but when you see the Mule winning an award, you can say, oh, it's a little bit dodgy.
Yeah. I mean, oh god, like, I don't know what else to say about Cassius other than they basically changed the sport.
Yeah.
Like, Cassius is the forerunner to basically... Well, it's not... Cassius kind of laid the ground for other pneumatic flippers. It'd be Chaos 2 who really became, like... Chaos 2 who set the, like, standard for, like, flippers up until around Series 7 and after. But, I mean... Yeah, Cassius laid the ground for all that. And I'd say they're definitely the most impressive bot of Series 2.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cassius itself is overrated as a fighter, but that is because it would get hyped up for being the first to self-right, and then obviously it set the grounds for flippers in general. So, yeah, you can understand why it's considered really important in the history of the show.
Yeah. And then we get to Series 3 with Cassius 2, which...
Right. Can I just have a moment to go over all the different things Cassius 2 packs into it? Because,
yeah,
oh my god.
Go for it. Here's some technology porn for the listeners.
A larger flipper blade, kind of similar to what Firestorm would be sporting later on. Polycarbonate aluminum armour, nothing too amazing. Pneumatic spike at the back, an anti-pit device. It's apparently even faster than the original, which had a top speed of 25 miles an hour. Unless they're bullshitting and giving us something like faster, which was apparently 48 miles an hour. I don't think so.
No.
Variable air suspension with 3 modes. One for accelerating, one for getting under opponents, and like I think one for pushing or something, or stopping it from veering up. But I mean, Rex Garrod, man, he just puts everything into these bots. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rex Garrod is told to make a robot. He makes a car. He just puts everything into it.
Yeah. Oh god.
The only thing it's lacking is if you just brought back the light from the Cyclops, just put it in the middle of the robot for some reason.
Yeah.
And while he's at it, just put on roadblocks like alarm.
Oh
The
god.
tragedy of Cassius 2, man, because like it's the like even the producers love hyping this thing up more than they did Panic Attack, who actually won, but it has such a short career.
Yeah.
Ah.
First round it goes up against Dundee, the successor to Loco, which it beat in the previous series. Um, and oh god, we,
The most pathetic grudge
which
ever.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you can see here that Cassius, the way it drives around and the way its flipper springs out, you can tell it's a really good machine, Cassius 2. It's just not driven how a front hinged flipper should be. They try it.
Maybe it's
Rex or Mick Cutter or whoever tries to flip when Dundee is at a standstill like 3 times, so obviously they don't get any purchase to flip it over. But with how fast Cassius 2 is, you can imagine it could get underneath opponents and thrust them over like Firestorm does. So
yeah,
maybe maybe they made it too fast.
maybe.
Maybe you can slow it down a bit.
yeah. It's
But no, yeah, like Cassius takes age to get under Dundee.
yeah, which is really quite weird because Dundee is pretty awful.
And it attacks the house spots here, and like Shunt's axe punches right through the flipper blade. It's wow.
Yeah.
Oh. We waited for Shunt to get good, and now he is.
By series 3, Shunt could actually, do stuff.
Yeah, which is more than you can say before that. Doing stuff could... Even if Shunt moved, that would still be better than Series 1 or 2. Just doing stuff in general is better.
Yeah, he still hadn't quite gotten over his issues with alcoholism yet, though. So he still had a way to go.
Yes.
I don't know. I think if you gave me an axe, I could probably punch through. I could probably get my way through that flipper blade.
Yeah.
And this saw Cassius 2 against Pussycat.
Oh god. So what do you think was the bigger upset? Cassius 2 versus Pussycat, or Razor versus Agrobot?
I know which one I was more upset about.
God.
Oh, Cassius drives. Oh, Cassius like spends a time trying to get like at Pussycat, and then it mistimes a charge and goes right into the pit and gets itself lodged insidewards, so it can't even push itself out. And I'm curious, if that thing had worked, then would that count as a KO?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean,
I'm not sure.
I mean, what I find funny about this fight is of all the times to try out like an anti-pit device, they do it with the Series 3 pit, which is just filled with tyres. Like, all the Spike would do would just penetrate the tyres in the pit, and they'd still be stuck in it. So...
Yeah.
People like to lay this defeat at Rex Garrod's per driving, but let it be known it was Mick Cutter driving this time.
Yeah, Mick Cutter was driving this robot, and he should not have been driving this robot because this happened, and they would have beaten Pussycat if Rex was in control.
Well, I mean, yeah, this was a Series 3 Pussycat who the only damaging blade they had exploded.
Yeah, well, that was the thing with that was that Alan Gribble was supposed to be making the custom blade for it. That's the story, that he was away from the workshop, couldn't finish it in time, so they just grabbed a case full of regular tool cutting blades, and well, that makes me wonder, because if they were talking about making a custom blade for it in Series 3, were they planning on bringing the Series 4 blade to Series 3?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Good god, they would have fucking demolished everything except Chaos 2.
They would have taken until they reached Chaos 2, they would have taken out the entire like.
Yeah. Like Cassius 2 would have been ruined because it had polycarb armor.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, Scutter's Revenge would have lost like it did, but it just Pussycat wouldn't have been disqualified. And yeah, just.
Oh, I mean, Cassius 2 is just. It's a beautiful machine, but it just doesn't have the best people at the wheel.
No.
Yeah, that's for certain.
Like, I mean, comparing it to like Chaos 2, like it's got so much shit on it that Chaos 2 doesn't. Like all this just wonderful designs, but it doesn't have George Francis at the wheel, so it can't.
Yeah.
So Chaos 2 takes a championship, while Cassius 2 ends up in the pit.
Yeah. It's,
and
it was apparently supposed to represent the UK in the International League, but then was unable to compete, probably for reasons that we're about to discuss. And Razor was given the place instead. So
okay, that's even,
apparently
right, this just makes
the famous Razor Participation Trophy League was actually not meant to be that. So
right, that's even more confusing, because if not, then why the hell did they have that? Because that was a truly dire lineup of just they already had the World Championship, so why are they taking like most of the worst spots from that, bar Dietor and whoever competed for the UK, and having that be a thing?
Anything to get more episodes out then, I suppose.
Yeah, it was probably one of those where, because they were meant to have, was it the Tag Team Terror in Series 3? And I don't know, maybe they were going to have a full episode of that, and instead, when it got cancelled, it's like, oh god, let's just keep all the First World Championship robots here and make another episode.
Yeah, probably, something like that. But yes, then we get to the to what's become known as Garrod's protest.
Rex Garrod had long been very unhappy with many of the Robot Wars rules. In his words, he believed most of them to be stupid, written by some twerp who sits behind a desk, has never got his or her hands busy, and never made anything. And Series 2 marked the first time that he really raised protest on this, after a robot fell off a trolley and the failsafe didn't work, injuring one of the stagehands. But he came back in Series 3 believing that there might have been some change. But more pandemonium was dropped by a stagehand, and its spike cannon fired, stabbing someone in the leg. And from here, Garrod immediately retired out of disgust and never competed again.
Yeah, that's something that I mean I can't really blame him for that. I mean, they improved the safety standards in later series, but yeah.
It's just an incredible lack of like any attention to any standards, and it's lucky that happened in Series 3 and not Series 5.
Yeah,
where,
can you imagine if it had been like Fluffy or Hypnodisc that had gone berserk?
Exactly, someone could have gotten like killed.
I mean, I think the Rose Boys were competent enough to make an actual safe robot anyway, because they would have been dealing with the intense danger of making it. But Fluffy never worked right. Something could easily have gone there.
I mean, even the weaker bots of like Series 5 or 6 could have killed someone. I mean, it's a good thing that I guess it's kind of a good thing that the spike cannon hit someone in the leg rather than like the chest or something.
Well,
Jesus, fuck yeah.
It's one of those where when it's getting ignored and kind of like pushed to the side, something like that had to happen for something to change, unfortunately. And you can totally understand why Rex had enough.
Yeah, I think his reason for not coming back was that the self-important people were still in charge. They hadn't changed who was in charge. They just updated the rules.
Yeah.
And it's a completely fair thing for him to not return, I think.
And what really sucks about this is we never got to see Cassius 3 show up. Cassius 3 was built after he left, around Series 4. And this time it was a front-hinged flipper.
Rear-hinged, you mean?
With...
Oh,
yeah, rear-hinged. Cassius 3 was a rear-hinged flipper this time with self-rating rams in the side, and he was going to chuck a rear disc on the back because I guess for some reason, despite building the wonders that are Cassius and Cassius 2, he still had the idea of, let's add on a second useless weapon.
Yeah.
But no, Cassius 3, the most tragic thing is, unlike a lot robots that don't get on the show now, to take a random example, let's say Dystopia or Toxic 2, we have mountains of evidence of how they fight through videos. All we have for Cassius 3 is about a 50-second clip of it fighting M2, where it spends most of the battle trying to self-right. So
Yeah, that's it's a real shame that we never got to see more of it because it's a damn good looking robot. And
oh yeah.
Rex's machines were so well designed as well.
I mean, what I said earlier about Vex always seeming to be like a series ahead. Cassius 3 looks like it should be in like Series 5 or something, not Series 4.
Yeah, it is a really good looking robot. I would have liked to see that competing. It could have done really well.
I mean, just judging from the looks of it, it would have probably been the second best flipper in the field after, well, Chaos 2.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see how it measures up to Chaos 2 because obviously Chaos 2 has a lot of design features that make it somewhat flawed in certain areas. Like it's got its very high side ground clearance. It's incredibly weak armor and all that, and I'd like to see how Cassius 3 measures up next to it. But obviously that's something that we will never get to see. Because I actually missed series 1 to 3 when on the original airing. I started the first proper series I watched was series 4. So I actually mostly remember Rex from the Real Robots magazine, where he had a double page spread to himself in every issue called Rex's Robot Challenge, and it was all about like it was constant behind the scenes information on like Cassius and Cassius 2, and I'm so fucking annoyed that I don't have those magazines anymore because they would have been so useful for this episode.
I know. I mean, Vex's big thing was he wanted kids to get involved in like engineering. That's why he didn't want to. That's why he said he never wanted to like wreck Loco, because he didn't want to discourage the kids on the Loco team from building another robot.
Yeah.
No, just kind of like cynically get rid of them and tell them that they're not capable of being in this show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very typical of him.
Vex, honestly, man, just such a wholesome man, such a wholesome soul.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say, really. I mean, he was just an incredible engineering builder, and everything he built was innovative and well designed. Like,
yeah,
his only flaw was that he wasn't the greatest driver in the world, really.
Yeah, and even then he wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible. It's just,
yes.
Yeah, it's just it's only noticeable because his bot was so good. That's why you noticed that his driving wasn't like the level of like some of the higher level competitors, because he built bots that should have gotten to like he built bots that are obviously incredibly good, but he couldn't drive them incredibly good.
Yeah.
Like if you stuck Rex behind like just any random Series 3 bot, then it'd seem like oh well, he's decent, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it is a crying shame that we never got to see more of it. I mean, Firestorm picked up the torch very well in terms of championing the front hinge flipper, but sadly that torch has now been taken up by Push to Exit, which is lacking, shall we say.
Push to Exit has the same problem that Cassius 2 had. It's too quick for its own good.
Yeah, good old Push to Exit, when the team behind it did better with a robot that they bought offline than they did with a robot that they designed themselves.
No, but I guess one thing, I guess the Panda team can be content that, like, despite the fact that they did so little in Robot Wars, they technically led to Cassius retiring. So
the only robot
they retired one of the greatest bots of the early series.
The only robot Team Panda ever took out.
I think that covers it.
Yeah.
So it's who is it next week? Plunderbird?
Oh.
Yes, I believe it is Plunderbird with
our special guest.
Yes. Next week we'll be covering Plunderbird with our special guest, Tale of the Toaster.
Yes. Such an enigmatic person is he. But yes, we'll certainly be having a lot to talk about that one. It's going to be weird because while it's been in more series, Plunderbird's probably had about as many fights as some of these early series robots. I mean, I'm looking forward to talking about Series 5 Thunderbird, and its spectacular outing against S3. So, that's going to be fun.
Oh.
Indeed. Well, until next week, see ya.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.